Good afternoon, colleagues. For those who don't know me, I'm Glen Hansman, an elementary resource teacher here in Vancouver and past president of the BCTF. Like most of you, I've been in the classroom at my school throughout the pandemic, and I know how hard you have worked to teach and care for your students during this difficult period. I'm grateful for all the collaboration, dedication, patience, empathy, and encouragement that colleagues at my school and all of you around the province, regardless of role, have shared with one another during the pandemic. And I've been very grateful for the support of my local and our provincial union. That gratitude absolutely extends to the work of my friend and my colleague, Teri Mooring. As our president through 2019-20 bargaining round and then the pandemic, Teri has led with strength, tenacity, care, and compassion. And I know how tirelessly she worked for teachers' health and safety through this pandemic. The role of BCTF table officer is full-on immersive. It's emotionally and intellectually intense. It's frequently around the clock, even during the best of times, even if that around-the-clockness is laying awake pondering the pros and the cons of various paths forward or mentally preparing for the next day's events. The pandemic made this even more so. Teri never let up. She gave ministers and senior government staffers the gears and was a powerful voice at the table with other Labour leaders. Because of Teri's leadership, as well as Clinton Carroll's, the BCTF forced the PHO and government to make important changes that make everyone safer. Teri, on behalf of all of us working in schools right now, thank you. Colleagues, Teri and I started working together on the Executive Committee back in 2009 as members at large when she was the president of her local. And then, when I was second vice president, I had the chance to visit her in her local and see firsthand, as someone from a large urban local with multiple released officers and staff, what it meant to be a president in a small rural one. I got to see Teri's incredible work ethic as she ran that office by herself, doing everything from supporting members in crisis to clean the toilets at the end of the day. That office only had one exit, I remember that, an entrance, and it was right on the side of the highway. It did have the advantage, though, of being attached to a great restaurant. For me, my time with Teri was so important to understanding what it meant to be a president in the North. And then a few years later, Teri joined Jim Eicher and I as a table officer just in time for one of the hardest rounds of bargaining and toughest strikes our federation has ever had. She also took the lead on the huge pension reform and consultation that we undertook, along with the government partner. Teri also worked closely with Jim and I to ensure the BCTF took an active role in the Canadian Teachers Federation, the Canadian Labour Congress, and the BC Federation of Labour, in particular with their public sector colleagues. She's contributed immensely to our union and profession, but also BC's labour movement, for workers and especially for women. Teri, like other women leading BC's largest unions right now, are transforming the movement for the better. When Clint joined us as table officers, the three of us also developed an excellent norm of collaboration, and we're constantly bouncing ideas off of one another and finding ways to reach consensus. It was a great team, and I'm proud of the work that we did together, even when times were tough. She stepped into the role as president ready and supremely confident. And then she had to lead in the face of the pandemic and the pushback from public health and government officials who did not seem to have a clue about what actual schools look like or how students interact with one another in a classroom. Teri, throughout it all, you emerged as an amazing public communicator, a spokesperson we could all be proud of. You are still a reliable, strong voice in the media, and there's no other public sector union president who is out there as much as you speaking about the needs of members and workers. You represented teachers, every single one of us, with integrity, clarity, and commitment. As someone who is BCTF president and now back in the classroom, which I love, I always felt like your countless TV appearances and radio interviews really resonated with what was happening in my school and in my practice as a teacher. My CUPE colleagues at work have also expressed appreciation for telling all of our stories and for advocating for us when you've been on the radio, when you've been in interviews. No BCTF president has had to face the challenges that you have faced. You've done us all proud. Thank you so much, Teri. I am very pleased now to present you with a pin that will officially welcome you to the Past Presidents Club on July 1st, 2022.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Glenn. Thank you. That was so nice. I really appreciate it. Well, thank you very much. That was an amazing speech, Glenn, as always, and I really appreciate the sentiments, and it was really really interesting to look back through your eyes. So I really appreciate that so much. I just really want to thank everyone. It's been quite a ride as president, I would say, from bargaining to the pandemic, and I've really appreciated all the support along the way. I must say that, you know, during the pandemic, I think we came together as a collective in a way that I haven't seen before, and it was really important that we did that, and I really appreciated that about our union. I really want to thank everyone at the BCTF. I'm just looking at staff right now, and I'm trying not to cry because I'm going to really miss everyone, and I've been holding it together so well. I'm going to continue to hold it together. I just really want to thank everyone. I mean, the BCTF really does, when you work there for a while, become quite a family, and I've so appreciated all the support along the way. Vanessa, Verna, Jesse, I mean, you know, I could go on and on. Amber, our new executive director, Sandy, you know, it's been amazing to have that level of support. Rich, Lauren, it's been really, really important to have that level of support given what we've been through, and I just need you to know that the BCTF staff supports all of us extraordinarily well, not just table officers obviously, but every one of us in our federation. So I really want to appreciate that. I also really want to thank my family, and one thing that I'm really looking forward to post-presidency is spending more time with my grandchildren, my 5 grandchildren, and my children, who have been incredibly patient throughout this whole odyssey, and spending time with them is going to be something that I really value. I also really want to thank my partner, Mike, who has, you know, knows what it's like to live this life and has lived it with me in an incredibly supportive way. I'm really proud of the work that we've been doing throughout the pandemic. I'm also proud of the equity work that we kept on doing, even when it was hard, and even when so much other work was subsuming us. We really kept our eye on that ball, and I'm really proud of the work and advocacy we've been doing. I'm really proud of where we are right now as a union in terms of you know, what we've accomplished and where we're going. And we talked a lot about that through this AGM. I know that this union is in really good hands in terms of the table officer team that has been elected. I'm really confident and have every confidence in Clint and Carol and Robin, you know, continuing to lead the charge and all the initiatives that we've been working on for many years, as we've outlined in this AGM as well. The union is in good hands, and I look forward to the rest of the election results and welcoming the new executive committee as we really, you know, traverse the exit of the pandemic, hopefully, and then on to, you know, really influencing government around education policy. We have a really good opportunity right now with bargaining, with the cooperation of the public sector, with a government that doesn't always do what we want, but at least we're at the table, and at least we're having conversations, and with public support that we have. So I think we're in a really good place as a union. I'm really proud of the work that we've done. I really just want to thank each and every one of you, and I would be totally remiss if I didn't thank my local Quesnel, the Quesnel District Teachers Association, and Andy's in the room. I just really want to thank you for the support, the real grounding, and I wouldn't be the leader that I am right now unless I worked in Quesnel and had those experiences. So that really means a lot to me. I just really want to thank everyone for all the collective work that we've done. I'm extraordinarily proud, and I'm exiting this role very proud of the work that we've done and proud of the work to come, because we are going to keep on going. So I'm really proud of that. Thanks, everyone.